Okay, let me start the session. In the previous two classes, we were discussing about digital PAM transmission through band limited channels. Okay, the whole topics which I am covering today and the remaining 4 to 5 classes, they are completely associated with this particular block diagram. So this block diagram, it has been explained in the previous classes. So for the sake of continuity, let us again go through this block diagram, because the terms and the expressions which are present in the block diagram, it should be remembered and understood carefully. That is why I am repeating it again and again. See, if you observe over here, input data refers to the symbols. Okay, what does this transmit filter do? It will convert the symbols to pulses of corresponding amplitudes. If the input data is AN, then the transmit filter will convert the symbol to a pulse of amplitude AN. That is what it is doing. And the source is generating symbols every capital T seconds. So every T seconds, capital T seconds, one symbol would get generated. So therefore you are having a sequences of symbols. As a result, you are having a sequence of pulses. So that sequence of pulse is represented by this V of t, yes, over here V of t, which is represented as gt of t weighted with an. What does this an represents? Amplitude of the pulse. Depending upon the input symbol, the an is going to vary. Okay, gt of t is the pulse. Okay, what does this nt represents? The pulses are being generated for every t seconds. So this train of pulse is made to pass through the channel. Okay, over where you are having the additive noise, and R of t is the received signal. Okay, that has been written over here. Input data, that is the symbols which is passing through the transmit filter, and the generated pulses will be passed over the channel, and you are getting the received symbol R of t. So these two blocks, the transmit filter and the channel, are represented by a single block which is called as H. So R of t is being represented in terms of H, not in terms of GT and H and C. It is expressed in terms of H. So what does H represents? It represents the combined contribution of the transmit filter and the channel. So therefore R of t is represented as an. An means that represents the symbols into H of t minus nt. That is obvious. That is obvious because this is passing through the block with transfer function H of f or impulse response H of t. So you know why we are using this sigma, because why are we using this sigma? Because you are generating a train of pulses. We are generating a set of symbols. Okay, sequences of symbols. Okay, and that symbol would be generated for every t second. Therefore, we are having t minus nt. So this is the received signal R of t. So this received signal, what is being done to this received signal? It is passed through a receiving filter, and the output of the receiving filter is sampled. So by observing this sample data, we are just checking which symbol has been transmitted. So where are we detecting? We are detecting over here. By observing the sample data, we will just say, okay, this message has been transmitted. Okay, so now the received signal is being passed through the filter through the receiving filter. Okay, so what would be the expression for the output of the receiver filter? Okay, so what is this output of the receiver filter? What do you mean by that? Y of t is equal to the received signal R of t in convolution with GR of t. The received signal is passed through a filter whose impulse response is GR of t. With that, if you substitute the value of R of, if you substitute the what is the expression for R of t, and after some mathematical calculations, you will be left out with an of x of t minus nt plus w of t. So what is this expression? Expression number 9 or equation number 9. The equation number 9 means, or it says, the output of the receiving filter. Okay, so what does this x represents? X is written as follows: h of t convolution with gr of t, or x is nothing but gt of t convolution with c of t convolution with gr of t. So therefore, what can you observe this function x of t as? We can call this as a function, a time domain function. This involves the contribution of transmit filter, channel, and gr of t. Okay, if I say x, what are implied within x? The transmit filter, the channel, and the receiver filter. So now you are having equation number 9, that is the output of the receiving filter. So we are not keeping the output as it is, we are sampling the output. So at what, if you are want to sample, then there should be a sampling instant or a sampling frequency. So at what time you are going to sample? So here we are going to sample every t seconds. The output of the filter is being sampled every t seconds. So therefore, the next expression would be the sampled output, or the sampled output we are going to write. Okay, so y of t, that is the output of the receiving filter, would be sampled. Why? Because as per this block diagram, y of t is being sampled. So therefore, now what we need to write is, we are going to write the expression for the sampled value of y of t. So therefore, it is very simple. Wherever t is there, you substitute with mt. Over here, you need to write the sampled equation, right? So wherever t is there, you substitute with mt. So y of mt equal to an of x of mt minus nt plus w of mt. So this is the expression for the sampled value at the output, at the receiver. This is the sampled value at the receiver filter. Okay, now if you observe this, this is the noise component. So let us keep as it is. Let us not analyze the noise at this particular instant. We will just get into this particular summation. What does this summation contains? It contains infinite number of terms. In this infinite number of terms, let us extract one term. Okay, let us extract one term, and we will retain the other in other terms. So which term we are going to extract among this infinite terms? We will extract one particular term. So what is the term? The term such that n is equal to m. N equal to m. So we will extract the term, we will keep it outside, and then we will write the remaining part of the summation. See over here, if you observe this equation, the second equation, so what have we done? We have written the same terms are being present. X of mt minus nt into an. Position of an has been interchanged. N from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, but n not equal to m. So one term has been removed from this summation and is kept over here, that is x of 0 into am. There is a purpose for this. Okay, so by this you came to know, in this summation what we did, one term we have removed, that is the term with n equal to m. So if you make n equal to m, here within the bracket you are going to get 0. You substitute n is equal to m, so you are going to get this term. So the remaining summation terms would be written as it is. Okay, now if you observe this equation 11 again, so what is present in LHS? In LHS you are having y of mt, that is the sampled value. At which instant you are, which sample value you are taking, that also could be explained. So which sample you are taking? You are taking the mth sample. So this m, it tells the sample number. Okay, so what is this? This is the sample value, and which sample you are considering? Mth sample. So therefore, in the equivalent relation, they are writing it as Ym. They can write, you can write it as Y of MT also, but also you can write it as Ym. What does this mean? This means you are taking the mth sample. Sorry. So at the mth sample, what are you having? What are you having? You are having 3 terms, out of which we will neglect the last term, that is the noise. Then we will consider only the 2 terms. So first we will consider the first term. Initially we will consider the first term. So what does this contain? Am. What does Am represents? This you can treat it as mth symbol. What does Am represents? Mth symbol along with some weight x of 0, along with some value x of 0. Okay, we'll come to this x of 0 later. Okay, so this is the desired symbol, because what are you doing? You are taking the mth sample at the output. So therefore, what are you getting? You are getting the mth symbol transmitted. Along with the mth symbol, if you observe the second term, you are getting so many other components. So what are those components? They are nothing but ANs. ANs are what? They are other symbols, undesired symbols. Here, AM is the desired symbol. Along with this AM, we are getting some undesired symbols. Okay, so these undesired symbols are going to interfere with the desired symbol, so which will cause the distortion at the output, so that the pulse shape, at the receiver, the pulse shape would get varied or distorted. Or simply, if you want to understand the concept, at the mth instant or mth sample, if you are at the receiver, okay, at the receiver, if you are at the mth sample, you are working at the receiver. Remember, when you get the mth sample, what is present in the mth sample? The desired symbol. Yes, that is true, but along with the desired symbol, you are having the other symbols also. You are having the unwanted symbols also. This unwanted symbols is called as the inter-symbol interference components. What are this term called as? The unwanted symbols called as inter-symbol interference components. So therefore, collectively, we will say that this second term will cause the distortion, and this second term is unwanted, and it is called as inter-symbol interference components. So, okay, that is the case. So now, among the 3 terms in the equation number 11, among the 3 terms in the equation number 11, which are wanted and unwanted, the noise is there, that you cannot avoid. Okay, okay, that will be as it is. This is x of 0 into Am. This is the wanted component, and this summation x of mt minus nt into An, this is the undesired component. So this undesired component itself is called as inter-symbol interference. Okay, so therefore, at the output sample, at the output, given the given the output sample, what are you very much intended? You are very much intended in the first term, and the second terms are not required. So this unrequired term or the unintended term is called as the inter-symbol interference. Now the topic is, we need to remove that inter-symbol interference. How to remove that? That will be continued now. So if you observe the equation, the sampled value, if you at the receiver, this is the sampled value at the receiver, sample number m. What does this mt represent? The sample number. So if you observe the sample value, then what are you having? The desired symbol along with the undesired symbols, that is true, plus the noise component. So which is the ISI over here? The undesired, the inter-symbol interference component, that is the second term. So this second term should be nullified. Okay, if you nullify the second term, then what? Nullify means making this entire second term 0. So therefore, what are you left out with? X of 0 into A of M, which is the desired quantity. So this concept is called as making of zero ISI, design of the band limited signals for zero ISI. So how to do that? Carefully observe this particular expression. What I want, I want to make the ISI 0. So which is contributing for the ISI? This summation terms is contributing for the ISI. So what we need to do? We need to make this summation terms to be 0. Now just concentrate on concentrate the summation terms. What is present? Just observe over here. X of mt minus nt. This is one term along with an. What are an? They are the amplitudes of the symbols, or they represent the symbols. You cannot make an as 0. An refers to the amplitude of the symbol. You cannot make the amplitude of the symbol as 0. Only thing what you can do, you can make this term x of mt minus nt to be 0. So if you carefully observe what is this x of mt minus nt, x of mt minus nt is nothing but the sample values of x of t. I repeat the sentence. To make this quantity 0, the second term or the ISI term is the summation term. To make the ISI 0, what we need to do? We need to make this x of mt minus nt to be 0. Okay, what essentially is x of mt minus nt? They are the sample values of x of t. Yes, keep that in mind. So what we need to do? The sample values of x of t, these are the sample values belonging to which function? X of t. Sample values of x of t should be made 0. Now the question is whether all sample values of x of t should be made 0. No, that is not the case. Okay, so what should be made 0? X of mt minus nt sample, this needs to be 0. But carefully observe over here, n not equal to m means you are not making all sample values to be 0. Okay, so putting in simple words, just come to the first term x of 0. Then what is this x of 0? This is also a sample value of x of t. Which sample value? 0th sample value. Okay, so what is this? 0th sample value of x of t. You cannot make this as 0. It should be a positive value. But other samples of x of t should be made 0. In other words, except the 0th sample, all other samples of x of t should be made 0. I repeat again, except the 0th sample, all other samples of x of t should be made 0. If you do that, this second term would be 0 and you are left out with this particular term. Then the next question is, what should be the value of x of 0? Preferably, we will make this x of 0 as 1. Okay, so finally, what did we get from this equation number 13? To make the ISI 0, to avoid the ISI, what am I supposed to do? In this equation number 13, we should nullify the second term. Okay, yes, to nullify the second term, we cannot make the ANs as 0. So the only possibility is x of mt minus nt. What is this x of mt minus nt? The sample values of x of t. So this sample values should be made 0. Then what are the how to make the sample value 0? Before directly making 0, observe this over here, x of 0. What is x of 0? This is also sample value of x of t, but this is the sample number 0. So therefore 0th sample we will keep it as it is, and the remaining samples of x of t should be made 0. Then what value you are going to give for x of 0? Any positive value you give, but for the sake of simplicity and proper reception, we will keep x of 0 as 1. So that is what we are writing over here. X. What does this NT represent? Sample values. Okay. So if at the first, this is the 0th sample. At the 0th sample, what is the value of x? It is 1, and at all other sample values, the value of x is 0. This is what you are supposed to understand. Okay, this is the very basis, fundamental concept of this particular chapter for 0 ISI. To achieve 0 ISI, as per the previous explanation, what you need to do, the samples of x should be such that at n is equal to 0, or the 0th sample should be 1, and all other sample values should be equal to 0. And remember, if I am telling sample values, so you should remember, when are we taking the samples? We are taking the samples at every capital T seconds. At every capital T seconds, that is being represented over here. Okay, so if you n is equal to 0 means x of 0, that is the 0th sample. What is the value? It is 1. At all other samples, n not equal to 0, what is the value of x? That is 0. This is how we are making the ISI to be 0, or we are achieving for 0 ISI. Yes, now we have understood the following things. What is the expression of the output? So from the output expression, we came to know what is ISI, and also we came to know how to avoid the ISI. Keep the sample values of x of t. Such that x of nt is equal to 1 for n is equal to 0, and for all other values, the x of nt is 0. Okay, only what does this equation 14 can be understood? In other words, equation 14 says this: the 0th sample of x of t should be 1, and all other samples should be 0. And remember, samples are taken at every t instances of time. So now, there is another theorem which is associated with this, okay, called as Nyquist theorem or Nyquist condition for 0 ISI. Okay, what does this Nyquist condition for 0 ISI? The equation number 14, whatever we have written, okay, this itself is the Nyquist condition for 0 ISI. That is, the 0th sample should be 1 and all other sample values should be 0. Okay, that is the Nyquist condition. But if to satisfy this equation 14, or to make the equation number 14 to make the equation number 14 to happen, the Fourier transform of the x of t, should satisfy this particular condition. What is the condition? This is condition number 15. So what does this condition says? X of f plus m divided by t is equal to t. What does this condition say? This condition says as follows: you are having x of t, you take the Fourier transforms, okay, at Fourier transforms x of f, okay, and you do this calculation, x of f plus m by t sigma summation, then you are supposed to get the value as t. If this should be the condition of the Fourier transform. That what I mean is, for the equation number 14 is for 0 ISI. Then what should be the Fourier transform of x of t? The Fourier transform of x of t, it should satisfy this particular condition. Okay, now if both equation 14 and 15, if we are with that, if the equations 14 and 15 get satisfied, then what we can do, we can achieve the 0 ISI. So to summarize, what am I telling is, for 0 ISI, the equation number 14 is the condition. Equation number 14 to happen, or to make the equation number 14 to happen, to make this condition to happen, the Fourier transform of x of t should satisfy this condition. That is equation number 15. That is sigma x of f plus m by t is equal to capital T. This condition should be satisfied. Okay. Okay, x of f plus m by t is equal to t. This condition should be satisfied. If this condition is satisfied, then automatically we can have this equation number 14. Okay. Okay, so therefore equation 14 and 15 together is called as Nyquist condition for 0 ISI. Okay, so this is the entire summary. So from this point we will continue in the next class. Okay, so finally at the end of the class, what am I supposed to say? To make the ISI 0, the x of t, you should know what is x of t. What is x of t? X of t is this, the gt of t convolution c of t gr of t. If you are not understanding this, what do you mean by x of t? X of t involves the contribution of transmit filter, channel and the receiver filter, all components belonging to a communication system. This x of t, it should be such that only 0th sample is having a value, remaining samples the values are 0. Okay, okay, so this is the condition for 0 ISI. To achieve this, x of nt is equal to 1 and 0. So to achieve this particular condition, the Fourier transform of x of t should satisfy this particular condition, that is sigma x of f plus m by t is equal to t. So collectively equation number 14 and 15 is called as the Nyquist condition for 0 ISI. Remember one thing, in the entire analysis of this module, we will give the time domain representation also, and also the frequency domain representation, so that you are supposed to understand. So in the tomorrow's class, we will just see what would be the value of x of t, x of t, such that equation 14 should be satisfied and equation 15 should also be satisfied. What are, in other words, what is the choice of x of t? What is the value? What value can I give for x of t? How does x of t look? Or what should be the function so that I should get the 0 ISI? That we are going to see in the next class.